Welcome to this video related to Section 5.2 Meiosis and Genetic Diversity. Note disclaimer listed below. In this video for AP Biology, we'll be focusing more details about meiosis. If you're looking for earlier videos or later videos or our whole course selection, make sure to click that course button and review all the videos related to our AP Biology course. And as always, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for future videos just like this. So let's get started. Remember, we talked about meiosis, and the idea is that meiosis is all about creating gametes, egg and sperm. The idea with meiosis is to ensure that populations are very distinct from one another and can adapt to change. No two gametes are alike. We know that we have chromosome pairing and crossing over that allows for mixing of DNA. And during chromosome separation, we have unique genetic variation and endless combinations. This is why siblings look unique and why a species or a population, such as human beings, have to adapt to change, which leads to stronger populations. And that is going to be helped or assisted by the diversity provided by the process of meiosis. Now, if you remember in section 5.1, we talked about meiosis in terms of details that we're creating these gametes. We note that the meiosis is the process through which organisms produce these gametes. And oftentimes one species will produce gametes that are varied. The main objective of meiosis is to promote this genetic diversity within a significant population. And that's done through the process of crossing over and independent assortment. So if you remember, we talked about crossing over where the chromosomes will go ahead and cross little parts to create unique chromosomes. So you can see the colors are now mixed and mashed. And then independent assortment allows for variations within the gametes itself. So we have crossing over, independent assortment, and then eventually leads to random fertilization. So that is the process of meiosis in general.
This is crossing over.
Let's talk about the process of crossing over. So crossing over, we briefly spoke about in section 5.1. If you want to, make sure to check out that video because the 5.1 has a brief detail about meiosis and the process. And to recap, we have prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, and telophase 1. So this is all part of the first part of meiosis. And then we have prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2. Okay, so this is all part of meiosis 2. And these two steps together are the entirety of meiosis. Well, if you remember, we're talking about meiosis 1 is where crossing over occurs, specifically in prophase. So in that first step of prophase, the homologous chromosomes are going to come together. So you can see they're matching up together. And homologous chromosomes basically means you have one set from one parent and another set from another parent, and the two pairs, so one from mom, one from dad, are going to combine to make homologous chromosomes. So let me reiterate that again. So what's happening in prophase 1 is you have these pairs of homologous chromosomes. The pair of homologous chromosomes includes from one parent and one color and another one from another color from another parent. So you can see that this is dad and this is mom. But each homologous chromosome pair includes one from mom and one from dad. So what's occurring in our step of what we talked about with prophase 1 is that we're getting ready to line up at metaphase, but before we do that at prophase, what happens is you have non-sister chromatids, one from the mother and one from the father. So this is one chromatid right here, and this is another chromatid from another one. They're going to have some sort of exchange. So what happens essentially is you have this genetic exchange that occurs, and if we were to zoom in, this would be the swapping of the segments, and this essentially creates new allele combinations. So what happens by the time the chromosomes get up at the metaphase plate is you'll have these mix and matches, and this helps promote new chromosomes that you didn't see in either the mother or the father because they're now swapped. And this means that you are going to be able to take the chromosomes in meiosis and pair them to form what are called tetrads. And the segments of the genetic material are exchanged between non-sister chromatids of homologous chromosomes. And the significance is to boost this genetic diversity by creating these new combinations of alleles, which are inherited from offspring. So the more chiasmata, the more diverse the gametes, and this happens randomly. So even when siblings look very different, the reason why is because they're not going to be an exact carbon copy of one parent, and that is due to this crossing over process. Now, when we talk about the differences between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, just to recap here, if you remember, meiosis one is where we have that crossing over that it has occurred. By the time it gets to metaphase, you have the swap has occurred, right? And they're going to go ahead and pull randomly. And what ends up happening is you have meiosis two. By the time the start of meiosis 2 happens, you have these unique combinations of chromosomes that eventually will become separated randomly. And so that leads to our next topic, which is independent assortment. So independent assortment basically refers to the way that chromosomes position themselves between the first and second division. So if you notice here, independent assortment means like we had take the chromosomes, we swapped them, and then we split apart, and then we did it again. So in humans, we have 8,388,000 distinct combinations of eggs and sperm that one individual can essentially generate. Chromosomes are aligning randomly at that metaphase plate, and each pair of homologous chromosomes are going to separate randomly from one another. And so by the time at the tail end of meiosis one, what is happening is we have these different combinations that are going to split even more, therefore creating more assortment. And that isn't just the only way that we deal with a unique combination. Remember, we have fertilization, and fertilization isn't part of meiosis, so I wanted to point that out. Fertilization is separate to meiosis, but it's the aftermath of meiosis. So we have one gamete, the egg, and then we have multiple sperm that will try to vie for the egg. The sperm always chases the egg, not the other way around. And what happens is you have billions of sperms that will try to fertilize an egg. So when they're combined in meiosis, that leads to 7 trillion different possibilities with unique genetic diversity. And the purpose of this is to increase fertilization, to increase genetic diversity. So we know that no two offspring is going to be exactly the same unless they're identical twins. So any sperm can fertilize any egg, and that includes this random fertilization. We don't know what possibility we're going to get. And this leads to roughly 70 trillion different possibilities and combinations that lead to what's known as a zygote. Please also, just as a disclaimer, note that meiosis is not random fertilization. That is the process that occurs afterwards, and that is important to note in this video.
The resulting haploid cells are arranged into a karyotype, organized.
Let's talk about what happens when chromosomes don't separate properly. This is known as nondisjunction. So nondisjunction occurs when you have chromosomes and they do not separate properly. We could see this in trisomy 21, aka Down syndrome. So the 21st chromosome has an extra, you could see there are 3 there instead of 2, and that's due to nondisjunction. This leads to oftentimes miscarriages and genetic disorders. So miscarriages are a natural way for the body to release that error. So oftentimes non-disjunction can occur in meiosis 1 when there's an abnormal chromosome amount. And if it occurs in meiosis 2, there will actually be only two of the resulting haploid cells will be affected. What you see here is a picture of a karyotype, by the way, and the karyotype usually demonstrates the 23 pairs of chromosomes. And you can see that there are 23 pairs here. Remember, 23 meaning pairs, which essentially means you have 46, half from mom and half from dad. And you can see here there's the X chromosome here. So that just designates, okay, that's the sex chromosome. So when you see a picture like this, they're demonstrating that this is called a karyotype. And a karyotype is just a map of your chromosomes. And if you see the abnormal number of chromosomes, you know that non-disjunction has occurred because there's a lack of separation. So if you see something out of the unusual, you'll notice that. Also, usually with chromosomes, the last one, you could tell if it's XX or XY, which basically means if it's two X chromosomes, it's female. If it's XY, it is male. So that's a way that you can note that really quickly. Let's talk about random fertilization in this quick quiz question. Take a moment, pause the video, and unpause once completed. All right, it says, what is random fertilization? Did you select the correct answer? It's B, the random chance of a specific sperm fertilizing with a spell. It's not where one specific sperm fertilizes with an egg. It's a random occurrence. That's why it's called random fertilization. And it's not going to be with multiple eggs. It's usually one egg and multiple sperms. And the identical offspring from the same parents, we know that unless they're identical twins, they're not going to be, first of all, they're not going to be the same with one another unless they're identical twins. The other, for offspring or siblings, the other issue is that parents are never going to be exactly the same as their offspring. So that's why that would be incorrect. So the best answer choice here is B. If you haven't done so, make sure to check out the playlist or courses. We have a whole biology course before you make sure to hit that subscribe and please hit that like button. And we hope to see you back soon.
Appreciate you riding along for our cosmic journey. If today's mission brought you the knowledge that slaps, make sure to hit that like button to boost that signal. Subscribe if you're locked in for our next launch. And don't miss the link tree. It's got all the goods for AP Bio, PSAT Math, and SAT Math. Before I sign out, make sure you're all in one orbit and diving in. Killing out. Till next time.